It doesn't matter. You shave a little time off, you're going to get a different product.
So Pioneer became a large regional bakery, and then you guys had a frozen plant as well. So you, I think, arguably one of the first to try that.
Yeah, we kind of were growing up with Ralph's and Vaughn's and Hughes and all the, grocery chains. And by the way, we were probably of our revenues, it's a long time ago, but at least 40% was restaurant business. So we had a really good mix, and we were doing private label for Ralph's and Vaughn's because they had, our route system. We couldn't serve all their stores off of direct store delivery. And then we started fooling around with freezing some bread, and we had bought Puritan Bakery. You remember them? They're still doing really, really well. But we bought a little bakery, 10,000 square foot bakery that they had in Santa Monica, and we started freezing product. And now Vaughn's and Ralph's started baking off the product, taking it through their freezer warehouse, baking the product off. And we were also doing croissants at the same time. And they were thrilled because they're baking it off in their in-store bakeries and selling it when it's fresh bread. And so we were like, well, I think we've got something going here, and that continued to grow. And then we just took the leap, and we bought a property up in Oxnard that had really good distribution up there, and we built a 90,000 square foot frozen plant. And it was, it was a lot to bite off. And there's quite a bit of time there that we thought, we were going to go belly up because we took on a ton of debt, but it hit. And I was dealing with all of our banks at the time and all of our suppliers, and like telling our flour, I know we owe you 6 months of flour, but we're not going anywhere. We'll do whatever. And they stayed with us. They basically helped us go through bankruptcy without going bankrupt, because I was spending tons of time with them, with reports every Friday with all of our suppliers and all of our bankers, and saying, this is why we've got a story here that's going to pay off. And it was because our frozen business, well, first we got Fred Meyer's up in the Pacific Northwest, and became at one point, we were doing 10% of their in-store bakery sales with our labeled Pioneer sourdough bread on a display. 10% of their, and then it just started cascading after that. We started picking up more. These guys, they all talk. They have their groups, especially the regional, HEB down in Texas talks to Fred Meyer's up there, who talks to Schnucks in, St. Louis. And thank the Lord, we were able to turn that around. And it was, to my knowledge, we were the first bakery to do partially baked bread with our label, and it was huge. It was really terrific.
That's so amazing, because it's even today, par baked frozen, people want to dabble in it. Some have perfected it, some have tried and failed, but you didn't have anybody to model after when you did it, right?
No, but we had really great relationships with the people at Vaughn's and Ralph's and all of but especially them for that business, because they were the ones that were really growing their in-store bakeries. And so they really worked with us, and did we work hard to make it happen. In fact, during that time, Charlie was on a crew that we had, they said, okay, we've got Schnucks, let's load up. We did 5 trailer trucks with how many wagons, Charlie, right? And get it all plugged in. And it was very exciting. And you're right. It was a new business model, and people, of course, always fall in because it was successful. And it sure was a blessing to us, our company, and our family.